Okay, so this is me. So I am a personal stylist. I go into people's closets. I help them get rid of the stuff that doesn't make them feel good and really put together outfits that um, make them feel confident, polished, just ready for their day and ready for anything that comes their way. And I've been working remotely with clients for over 3 years. So I have been using a lot of this technology that we've been using every day for years to connect with my clients and also to actually edit their closets too. I use Zoom a lot to do some closet edits. Another thing that I do is I'm a personal branding expert. So when people either decide that they want to get to the next level in their business or they want to really be very visible and be the spokesperson for their business, I help them really figure out how to figure out what their brand is to attract their ideal client and make sure that their visual representation is matching their message that they are trying to get across to anyone that they meet, whether it's networking or clients or friends or any of that stuff, just making sure that they're sending the right messages. So first, I just wanted to chat quickly about the power of personal style, just in general, and just really feeling confident about yourself and showing up in your best light possible. Through these times, I've had lots of conversations with people about either staying in their pajamas or, not getting dressed from the waist down and staying in sweatpants, or just really, not taking things so seriously when it comes to getting dressed as if you were to leave your house. So I just wanted to address that first. So, and this is exactly what I do. So clothing is 100% an extension of who we are. So as I mentioned before, it's nonverbal communication, it's a message, and we want to make sure that we're starting our day really being excited and being present and putting our best foot forward. And the first way to do that is by getting dressed and intentionally liking what you're wearing and feeling good and confident about it. So really getting dressed with intention, as I mentioned before, because you are your own brand. Even if you're in a little screen, you just want to make sure that you look your best, you feel confident, that when someone looks at you, they know it's you and they're not kind of like, who's that person over there? She kind of looks familiar. And then also just that when you wake up, you get dressed, you feel confident, it's a domino effect. So if you wake up and you love what you're wearing and you get dressed and you go about your day, even if it is in our homes, it just spills over into other aspects of our life as well, whether it's personal, whether it's work. So just, it really is important to get dressed each day, even if you don't have a Zoom call or you're going face to face, even if it's just for your family or for yourself. So what you wear, there's so much research about this, that what you wear affects your mood. So I always say to someone, you're having a bad day, go change your outfit. Like that's the quickest way to feel good, is to put on something that you like, that makes you feel confident. I know a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, it's raining, I'm just going to wear that ugly sweater and those like shoes that I don't mind getting messed up. But it's just better to kind of twist that a little bit and put a different spin on it and being like, oh, it's so gross outside, I'm going to wear my favorite button down shirt, or I'm going to wear my favorite pants just because I need that little extra boost today. Also, what you wear affects motivation. Like when you got it going on and if you feel great and you are wearing your favorite shirt, that's the day you're going to go to a networking meeting and introduce yourself to someone that you've never met before, or get in front of a group of people at work and make an amazing point. Like what you wear 100% affects your mood. And then also engagement. I always find that the best way to start a conversation is by wearing something that's interesting and unique. That way someone goes and talks to you about your funky tie or your interesting pocket square or your cool shoes that have lime green soles or something like that. Easiest way to start a conversation is by wearing something interesting, and you just never know where any of those conversations can take you. Okay, so taking all that information, so we know that it's important to get dressed and like what you're wearing, how do we take all of that information so we can get on these video calls or FaceTime? I know that everyone is doing everything possible to form some sort of connection. So how to confidently do that without like staring at the screen and being like, do I really look that bad? Which definitely there are some times that we all kind of do that. So, ooh, I don't know what happened there. So that is very strange. I'm sorry. So my picture didn't get up there. Just to wear jewel tones. So you really want to wear colors that are saturated. I can kind of click off of here for a second and see. Sorry about that. Take presentation mode off. I'll go back at the end and show you what jewel tones are. If anyone doesn't know what they are, you could ask me in the questions. But they're just saturated colors. If you think of sapphire, ruby, emerald, those are the colors that are flattering on everyone, because everyone has specific colors that are flattering them and non-flattering, but jewel tones are 100% flattering on everyone. And also, they bring light and warmth to your face. So the concern when being on a video is that you look tired, or that your like wrinkles show up, or that you look like you have dark circles under your eyes, or any of those things kind of happen a lot on video because video is not forgiving. And the easiest way to get around that is to wear these jewel tones, flattering on everyone, and makes you look like alive, vibrant, makes it look like your apples of your cheeks are, like wearing like a little blush, like you got a little bit of a tan. So wearing a cobalt blue, wearing a navy blue, any of those colors are the colors that just look great on video and make you look well rested and happy, polished, all of those things. So colors to avoid on video. We all love black because we think black is slimming and black goes with everything. But black, especially on video, accentuates your wrinkles, dark under eye circles, all of that stuff. It just comes out so much on video that you want to avoid wearing black. If you are going to wear black, I would suggest putting something, whether it's a blazer on top of it, a cardigan on top of it, a tie, something near your face that is going to counteract what happens with the black. The same thing with white. White washes you out and makes you look super pale and super tired. So you want to avoid wearing white on these Zoom calls as well. It also creates this like funky halo around you too, and just doesn't look flattering and is really, really distracting. Also red, the camera videos do not know what to do with red. They don't know how to process them. And then the way that it comes across on video is it starts to bleed. So again, it starts to look fuzzy and bad, and just not the thing that you want to be seeing when you're looking at yourself on screen. You want to make sure that you're wearing fitted clothes, like we're at home, we're comfortable. We kind of want to be cozy. But the problem with wearing something that is oversized or bulky, it is really true that the camera does add 5 pounds, especially the video camera within these computers. Because in life, we have other things that are proportionally around us that you can see, you sitting in a chair or you behind a desk, that gives their proportion. Within these screens, there's no proportion. We're just in this small little box. So therefore, anything that is near us that is big just makes us look bulky, and it looks sloppy, messy, like you didn't make an effort, and it like overwhelms you. So you really want to make sure that your clothes are like fitted and not super loose and baggy. And the way for both men and women to do that is to really just look at your shoulders. You want to make sure that the seam of your shirt is right on top of your shoulder. And that right there is the telltale sign that a shirt is fitted on you, as opposed to if the seam of the shirt is over there, it's too big. So just on your shirt, you just want to be really cognizant of not looking sloppy.
Melanie, we have
Yes.
a few questions about color.
Sure.
So we have Annalise is asking if these color rules apply to non-Caucasian people, non-white people.
Yes, they are the universal flattering colors for everyone.
Okay. And then Joan is asking about prints, if prints are okay.
Getting to prints. We're getting to prints.
Okay. And then the last question about color, Richard Feldman is asking about orange. So could you explain if that's
orange is same as red?
Okay.
It just doesn't know the screen with both of them. There's ways that you can kind of like, there's certain reds, like if you're wearing like a burgundy, it's not as bad as if you're wearing a fire engine red. Same thing if you're wearing more of a burnt orange, like you find in autumn, not as bad as if you're wearing like glaring red. But you just, what I'm really trying to get across is like the easy, fast tips to know what to avoid and what to gravitate towards, especially when you're standing in your closet and you have 30 options. Like, go towards the safest bet. If you have some time, you could kind of play with it in front of your own screen to see what happens. But I would avoid red and orange. And then also, like I said before, these jewel tones, there are millions of colors that are good for every single skin tone, but these specific tones look good on every single one. So that's why I wanted to tell you, so anyone can go into the closet and know that those colors look good and good on them. So getting also back to this, like, just showing something, it just having some style within the Zoom call is super, super important. You want to make sure that you have some personality. Like, I find that forms connection, that makes people like you, that makes shows the know, like, and trust. To have like something within on yourself that just has some style, whether it's a necklace, whether it's a headband, whether it's a scarf, like, just be you. I also find that it makes you feel good about yourself too, that you feel like you put a little extra effort in, that you're showing something that has some sort of style in it as well. So I don't know what happened. I'm very sorry, but some of my pictures have disappeared. But I'm basically saying the same message, but I can go back and show you the pictures afterwards. But it's basically a man wearing glasses in this picture. So what you want to do is you want to avoid glare, because that is super, super distracting. And the way to do that is by two ways. Either you could raise the light source. So if you are using anything, let's say a lamp, or let's say a light ring or something, you can make the light source be higher and angle the lights and camera away from you, so the glare is not directly on your glasses. And then another thing that you can do is you can make the light bigger than your glasses in your face, so it won't be shining on there, so you don't have that really awkward glare happening when you are on the Zoom calls. The other thing too that has to do with glare that you see in your glasses a lot is the glare from your lights in your house. So you kind of just want to play with the video when you could go on, before you like officially get on a call, and just hit video and kind of see what you look like. You want to make sure that it's not that the glasses aren't reflecting like lights in your chandelier or anything around there. So just be very cognizant of your eyeglasses, because they are a major glare center. Same thing if you are sitting in front of any prints or pictures that have glass, the same thing will happen with them as well. So you just want to be aware of what's going on as far as the lighting in your home. And I'll get more into lighting again. So there'll be a lot on lighting. This is just kind of accessory lighting. Accessories to avoid. So you want to, getting back to that unpolished messy situation, you want to avoid bulky scarves. So again, they're overwhelming. They take over the whole box. They look a little polished and messy. Wearing a scarf, totally fine. You just don't want it to be this one that looks like a blanket, because it looks bigger on that than it actually looks to you. Any sort of noisy jewelry, bangles, earrings, things that make noise. On these Zoom calls, when people aren't muted, that's all you hear is like someone's bracelets or cufflinks jangling on their computer screen. So you just want to avoid that. And then anything that's like overpowering and too distracting. The idea on these calls is to get your message across, not to be a fashion show. So you don't want someone to be staring at your huge necklace or your like Santa Claus tie, as opposed to listening to what you have to say. So you just want to show your style, be mindful, but not do anything that is really going to distract from your message. So here's prints. So you want to, I love prints. Prints are my favorite way to show personality, but prints on camera do not translate so well. They, especially stripes, they do that like fuzzy dizzy thing. They don't translate well. They're really, really overwhelming. Especially small prints. If you wanted to wear like a very big print and just have it be like multiple splashes of color, that's something that's easier to wear. But the small prints, they look fuzzy, they get dizzy, they're overwhelming on you. Also, the combination of black and white, super overwhelming in general, even though I said not to wear black and white in general, but not to wear black and white separately. Wearing them together is just so overwhelming. But I do understand that some people do want to wear prints because it does show their personality. And the best way to do that is to tone it down by wearing a solid on top of it. So whether that is a blazer or a cardigan or a solid colored scarf, that is something that you could use to tone down the print so you don't have to automatically eliminate 75% of your wardrobe if that's how your wardrobe looks. So just tone it down by putting a solid over it, and then it shows just like that kind of a thin line, and it's not so overwhelming and it's not taking over your whole entire body. So you really want to dress to impress within these calls. There is a lot of questions about that we're at home, we're more casual. Does it look silly if I'm wearing a suit? Do I look ridiculous if I'm wearing a t-shirt? And in these situations, you basically want to think about the way that you would dress when you're meeting someone in person. And you can go a little bit more casual than that, but not so much. Like, you want to make sure that you have the same sense of authority, the same sense of respect, and showing the people on the calls that you want to be there and that you are 100% paying attention and all of that. Because of these Zoom calls, we're now more visible than ever. Typically, we would speak to someone on the phone. We wouldn't be having these calls. So you now are being seen more. You also are on calls with people you never would have been in touch with. I find, because a lot of companies are doing these bigger calls, so there may be a very senior level person that you've never had a relationship with on these calls, and you don't want to be like the person with their shirt off or like wearing the sloppy t-shirt when you're on the phone with someone who you've been trying to get in front of for years. So you just want to make sure that you're more visible than ever, and you just never know who's going to hop on to say hi. Just like, for example, like my son's in 6th grade, the principal and all the whole entire staff got on their kindergarten Zoom call last week. You just never know who's going to pop in just to kind of take the temperature of what's going on. And then also, you want to look like you're taking your work from home life seriously and that you're actually doing the work throughout the day. So if you show up on a Zoom call and you look kind of sloppy and lazy, it gives the viewer that's on the call with you the thought of like they're going to go take the dog for a walk when they're done with this, as opposed to be doing the points that we discussed on this call. So I have always been dress more formally if you are unsure, but in this situation, you always can ask, like, who's going to be there? What are the topics being concerned? Is there a dress code? Like, if you're very uncomfortable and unsure, you could always ask, especially if, like, let's say it's with people from other organizations. You could ask someone within your organization just to clarify. But if you are asking yourself the question, you'll want to be a little bit more formal than relaxed in those sort of situations. No one's ever going to be like, oh, did you see the blazer he was wearing? But someone's going to be like, did you see he didn't have a shirt on? So I'm not saying that anyone would do that, but you just want to always, it's best to be more formal. Okay, so makeup is really important. Like, you want to think about that this is like being on camera, like being on film or being on video or like being at your wedding. Everything is just different because there's lighting, there's bad lighting, and all of those things. You're going to want to amp it up because it's not like you seeing someone in person. In order to be polished and defined, you're going to have to wear a little bit more than you would wear in person. So everything's super amplified on video. So you want to, again, if you're going to wear black, the one thing you're going to need to do is put some concealer to hide any dark circles. You're going to wear foundation, tinted foundation. The red things show up in your face, under eye circles show up. All of those things show up so much more in video. So you just kind of want to kick it on a little bit, especially if that's something that concerns you. If it's something that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I know that some people had specific questions about this. Same thing going back to the jewel tones, that you want to make sure that you're using some sort of warmth, whether it's a blush or bronzer, because on camera it's so easy to look washed out. So just wear some sort of highlighter that's going to add warmth to your skin. And then just some other just easy makeup tips. Put on some mascara. Our things start to blend together on our face, especially in camera, and just making sure your eyes are defined is really, really helpful. Use eye drops. I mean, we are staring at these screens for so long. Like, that's all we're doing now, is staring at screens, and the redness in your eyes are amplified on camera. So you want to use some eye drops, and also it's good because it helps with staring at the screen situation. And a great thing that I mentioned before that I always do is use Zoom as a mirror. Like, it's there. You can use it before you go live. You can use it 10 minutes before. You can go on Zoom 3 hours before and just use it as a camera just to see how you look on there, and if you want to switch anything and make it different. So if you're like, whoa, I don't know if I just put way too much lipstick on, or I don't know how this shirt looks, or I don't know how my orange shirt is going to look, I don't have time to change, you can totally just click the video button on Zoom and see how it turns out, and you can get a better idea of how it's going to look on video. And again, the best way to look polished if you aren't wearing any makeup at all, put a little lipstick on, call it a day, and that'll add some color to your face. Does anyone have any questions about any of the things I discussed before I go on to more of the technical things?
Melanie, we do have several questions. I'm not sure that you're not going to get to them, but
these are, I'm getting into technical stuff now,
okay,
which is lighting and all that stuff.
Okay, so then I'll hold off. I'll just show one. Somebody, Barbara, noted that if the camera is not really close to you, you do look better. Close-ups, i.e. dark circles, can kill you. Do you agree? Not showing your imperfections.
To me, it's what everyone has their own hiccups and the things that they're self-conscious about. So if someone's self-conscious about your dark circles, that's what I would focus on correcting, because you're staring at it. You know, on a lot of these calls, this one we're fortunate enough that we are not seeing each other. But like, I find that when you're on these calls, you're looking at your least favorite part. It's like when I tell clients not to look at themselves in a mirror when they're looking at an outfit, to look at a picture, because when we're looking in a mirror, we look at our least favorite part of ourselves. So if you're self-conscious about under eye circles, then figure out a way to make you look best for your under eye circles. If you're self-conscious about your hair, figure out how to make your hair look best. So whatever is your stopping point that's going to make you feel uncomfortable on the screen, resolve that. So.
And I'm going to ask, I'm not going to reveal the name, but somebody's asking, so makeup for guys, are there simple things that men can do to maybe cover up their eye bags?
Yeah, tinted moisturizer and concealer. Like that, men on video all wear makeup. Like, men on TV shows and men on movies all wear makeup for this exact reason: bad lighting, shadows, the camera showing imperfection. So if a guy just got tinted moisturizer and a little bit of concealer, it would just look so much better. Because the thing with the camera is the redness shows up so much and the black shows up so much. And those are the things on our face that we don't like, red and black. So it's amplified on camera.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So here I'm just going to get into some of those really technical things that I've learned along the way when it comes to Zoom. So again, this is how to avoid looking in that little box and being like, oh, do I look that bad? So there's some things that you can do with your computer or with lighting to make sure that that's not happening. Face the window. Number one thing. Easiest solution to fix your lighting. The lighting shouldn't be to the side of you or behind you. It should be in front of you. Natural lighting is the most important thing when it comes to looking good. Any of the people that you're seeing on Zoom that look like black and shadowy and all those things are not sitting in front of a window. A window can resolve anything and everything. So if you, can change where your desk is, because we may be in this situation for a few more weeks, change where your desk is. If you can go to a laptop and change that, do that. If you're unable to change your house and how it's structured, the best way to get around that is to get yourself a light ring. I'm going to go into that afterwards. what is going on with his pictures? I'm so sorry. That you can just purchase a light ring and it's a fake natural light, and you could put it anywhere near where like your screen is or right behind your monitor, and that would just make you look just like you're facing the window with a natural light. All right. Okay. So why is everything backwards? So the way that Zoom is set up when you're looking at it is that it's through a mirror. So it's kind of like you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And but the way that people can see you is non-mirrored. So like when you're seeing yourself, it's a mirror. When they're seeing you, it's normal. So it kind of distracts people. And you can change that. I'm going to show you in the next slide how you can go and change that. But you just want to be mindful of if you're changing it, because if you're showing someone something in a presentation and it's writing or something like that, it will show backwards if you have your mirroring on the wrong set. So you can go in and very easily futz with that and make it be right. So this is where on Zoom, there's lots of ways to change your settings. So mirror in my video is right here. So you can switch with it to see which one how you want it to be seen. So you can go in and change whatever settings you want. Enable HD is making it high def. So that's a way for you to look better on video, is if you make it high def. Some people says it's worse. You can, again, try it without, see which one you like. And then also touch up my appearance. There's a filter that they put on top of your video. So there's a filter on there as well. And then another thing that you could do is put one of those virtual backgrounds that people have. If you click on virtual background, Zoom has their own settings that you can use, or you can go and download ones from another program. And the way that I got to this portion right here is by when you go to start video, when you join the call, there's this little arrow that a settings menu pops up, and that's where this is from. See right there, that arrow. I don't know if you guys can see my Zoom thing. If you click that, that's where all of this information pops up from there, so you can do all of that. Again, lighting is key. Can't face a window. You can get a light ring on Amazon for I think like 25 bucks. So it's not like you need to buy a high quality one, but that definitely is going to help with any of your lighting situations. Again, your camera is a mirror. So before going live, you want to check out your surroundings, because besides the fact that you're there, your house is there too. So if there's dirty laundry around there, is something else going on, just look and see what the viewer can see. And if you need to make any changes within your home or go somewhere else, you can do that. You want to also effectively angle the camera. The best thing is to have the camera itself be at eye level with you, so you can create connection with your viewers and who you're talking to, but also so nothing is distracting as well. Like if you have it too high, it's going to be like looking at the top of your head. You have it too low, it's going to be more at your chest. You want to be eye level. And the way to fix that is really just raising or lowering your either desk or whatever your computer's on. We don't really have phone books anymore, but like a restoration hardware catalog is really good to making your computer a little bit higher, but just kind of finds a level that makes you feel comfortable and is most flattering. And then you could also kind of bring your computer screen closer or further away from you. And also you really want to be mindful of the background that's behind you, especially when it comes to what you're wearing. So we kind of sometimes don't have control of the background, because our office and our space where we can close a door is what it is, and you can't change it so much. So if you have a lot going on within your house, you want to wear not so much going on in your clothes. So you don't want to either blend in with your background, or you don't want to be distracting from your background. So you kind of have to look at the space and be like, okay, there's a lot going on over there, so therefore I'm going to just wear a solid pink shirt or something like that. So just kind of, that is part of your surroundings as well, and part of the video is whatever is going on in the background too. So just be cognizant. Again, you can turn the video on and kind of see what other people can see, and can move some things if you need to as well, to make sure that your background's better. So how to best run a meeting, just as we did here, the best way to run a meeting is to mute everyone. The second that they get in, let them know that they're muted, just so there's not distracting conversations, background noises, all of that. Have everyone on mute, and then you could figure out the best way beforehand how you would like people to participate. Either you can call their name and have them be unmuted. There's ways to raise your hands. You could use a chat box, but the best thing is to go have everyone be muted and to keep it that way, because you can hear what is going on at your next door neighbor's house when you're on a Zoom call. Someone asked a question about recording. You can very easily record the Zoom session, so you don't need any other sort of technology program or anything like that. You can record it when you're setting up the call. You can make the decision that you're going to record the whole entire meeting, or you can hit record as well. I'm trying to see if I could hover and get that. But as part of one of the things here, if you're the person who is activating the meeting before you go on, there is a way for you to hit record. So you don't need any other programs to do that. I also suggest using headphones. They make you sound better because you're much clearer, but they also can't cancel out noise of what's going on in your house, whether it be a dog barking, someone vacuuming, any of those things. Headphones really, really are a great tool to use during these meetings. And again, be mindful of the backgrounds, because I can't tell you how many times I've been distracted by people in the background, not even, someone's house, but of what's going on within the meeting. You just want to be very, very aware of what's going on in your house too, because people are going to be like, what is your daughter doing behind you? So just be really, really mindful of that. So that is basically it. So if anyone wants any more information about working with me, about getting visible in your brand, there's some information that will be sent out so you can get in touch with me, or if you have any specific questions as well. And then if you want to connect with me on social media, I know that's going to be in there as well. And then I'm going to open it up for some questions and answers.
Okay, I have a couple of questions that were asked earlier. Lenore was asking about the glare from the computer screen.
The glare.
I believe it was when we were talking about glare on your glasses, but maybe how to mitigate the glare on your computer screen.
Onto your glasses?
Yes.
So any sort of light ring or facing a window would take that away.
Okay, great. Joan is asking, should you look at the camera or the screen when you're speaking?
The camera is what people are going to be seeing you. So if you want to look at your audience, you want to be looking at the camera.
Okay, and then a couple of questions from Brian. He asked, if you wear green and use a green screen, will that create a problem?
Yes, they won't see you. They'll just see a head.
Okay.
Green, but I mean, if the green screen has a different background, because green screen is really the screen behind you.
Right.
You could have an ocean behind you. You could have a classroom behind you. You could have books behind you. I just wouldn't have it be the same color as what you're wearing.
Okay.
So the green screen, if it's green, I wouldn't wear green. So you just look like a floating head.
Yeah.
You want to also play with those green screens as well, because your arms start disappearing as you're talking and stuff like that. So they're great, but if it's something that's going to distract you, it may be better to just sit in your home in front of a bookshelf or something like that.
And Brian had one other question. He said, can you use the light from a makeup mirror to add light behind the camera?
Yes, that typically is similar to a light ring, is one of those makeup mirrors. It's natural. It's a natural daylight. It's a fake version of natural daylight. So you should be able to use it. But that will be another thing that you're looking at. You're looking at yourself on the screen and in the mirror. So you may want to cover up the mirror.
Does anybody else have any questions? People have a lot to say about this. They're going to try the makeup mirror. This was very helpful. I guess people have less questions than they think, probably after. Oh, Lori is asking, what about using a picture of yourself versus being live?
I think all of, sorry, I was just trying to see if I could get those pictures that didn't come up back. I think that the idea of this is to form connection with people. So if you don't feel so great or something like that, that's one thing, or if you're having a bad day, but the idea on these calls is to form as much connection as possible. So, and also kind of see what the room's doing. If everyone else is doing that, that's fine, but you don't want to be the only person that's not participating.
And somebody is asking if we can review again about the video settings.
Sure. So the video settings, can you see this? Can you
Yes,
see
we
this
can see
hoverboard?
no, we can't see
So,
your Zoom
so you
drop
can't see
down.
my Zoom. So when, and everyone can kind of hover where their Zoom is. We see where start video is, where participants are. There's this little arrow either going up or down depending where on your screen it is. When you click that little arrow down, there is a video setting option, and that screen that I showed you here pops up. This one here. So literally on that thing from the bottom where you start your video, right next to it, you click video settings and this whole situation pops up. And then you can go in and share just how your screen shared, any audio things, enabling HD, touch up, mirror, and then also add your virtual backgrounds as well from there.
Somebody asked again for your contact information. So if you could show that last
Sure.
page, that would be wonderful.
There you
Again,
go.
while we wait to see if we have any other questions.
And then also, just so everyone knows, so I have this Facebook group that I started 67 days ago. I'm called All Dressed Up and Know Where to Go, since I am such a big proponent of getting dressed. It's just like cute, easy, comfy outfit ideas. Just we're kind of a group encouraging each other to get dressed every day. So basically I go in every day, show what I'm wearing. We all there's some funny tips. We don't really talk about anything negative whatsoever, but just a great place for people to hang out and have some inspiration to get some nice clothes on.
We have 2 more questions. Joan is asking, what is the best way to be acknowledged for speaking? She said, I've been on calls where people are talking over each other. Do you have any suggestions for that, Melanie?
Well, that really has to do with a moderator. I'm a very, very big proponent of everyone's on mute and has to use their hand raising situation.
Yeah, I think it's harder on a meeting format where you're seeing everybody and maybe there isn't a moderator, but I wish I had better advice for you as well, Joan, in those meeting situations. Wave your hands.
Yeah, wave your hands. There's a place you could also raise your hands within the meeting, but if it's mayhem, and maybe write in the chat, I have something to say.
Yeah.
Be aggressive. Talk louder than them.
I do think you have to be much more aggressive, and people think of that word negatively, but I think you just have to be a little more aggressive on these Zoom calls to get your comment in. Nancy is asking, if you are doing a presentation, is it better to do it like you are or do it with you live in the corner? Also, what is the best presentation format for the screen share in Zoom? I think the presentation format for screen share, it's sharing your exact screen. So whatever looks good on your screen is going to look good on Zoom. Melanie is using the presentation in Canva.
And I've used PowerPoint before as well.
Yeah, and you can use PowerPoint.
I was just going back and showing you the jewel tones. Sorry.
Yeah, those jewel tones were nice. I don't own any of them.
I think it's that what I find, especially with the message I'm trying to come across, is talking about a lot of visual things and not being in front of someone. It's much easier for me to have an organized version of that, and then also kind of have my own outline too. that's how I find the Zoom meeting is helpful, to just kind of have all the pictures there. Especially if there's something that you need to be referencing, whether it's a document, a number, or something like that, just so it's there for someone to both see and hear. What I've found with doing this is the way that people absorb information is different. Some people are visual, some people need to hear it, some people need to read it. So if you can tick those 3 boxes, like need to read, need to see, need to hear during the presentation, there's a much higher chance of someone absorbing what the information you have to say than you just speaking to someone.
Any other, somebody asked if gray was a bad color to wear.
Yeah, gray is the same thing as black.
So every color in my closet is not right.
Sorry. Well, there's grays that are kind of purple, so those may be okay. Just wear a colorful necklace and everything will be fine.
Silver.
Silver or gold, depending on your skin tone, but then we're starting to get into personal color situations.
Yes, yeah. Okay, somebody asked, I am recording a video for a future meeting. How do I use crib sheets without looking at them, obviously? Any tips for that, Melanie?
There's a teleprompter app that you can use. So the thing is, when you're recording things, it's only recording your Zoom screen. So there's maybe a potential way for you to have that popped up in front of you, or if you have an iPad or a phone or something that you could use, like the teleprompter app. Because the good thing about the teleprompter app is it's like at a good speed and it kind of forces you to slow down a little bit.
And it's just called teleprompter?
Yeah, I believe it's teleprompter app. You just put teleprompter in. It's something like that. So you should be able to find it from the App Store.
And actually, Keith, one of our attendees, suggested just if you're using PowerPoint or a slide program to put your notes in that. So you're looking at the camera and the screen as you're recording. Personally, I rigged up big pieces of paper with what I wanted to say.
I do that too when I do Instagram lives. I have like a notebook that I stand up and have it like, or use like a picture frame to prop it up. So
I think we're all rigging a lot of stuff right now.
Exactly.
In our home offices, especially those who have not, worked from home before. So it's challenging times for everybody. I think this was great. Does anybody else have any last minute questions before we sign off? Sal's reminding everybody that we're available for any assistance at millercenter@mcplibrary.org. You'll be able to watch this presentation. Give us a day, although knowing Sal, it'll be less than a day, but give us a day and then visit our YouTube channel at Miller Business Center and you'll be able to watch it. Somebody's talking about going to get foundation and Sal's telling me it will be available online tonight. So if you enjoyed this program and you want to share it with your friends, colleagues, anybody you think would find it useful, please share it. We appreciate Melanie giving us such great information and we appreciate you all attending. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.